No one anticipated it. Not on the streets. The fans, no. Not Jim Jones, of course. After months of stress, betrayal, and public outbursts, Harlem had finally breathed. The world believed that the conflict between Jim Jones and Camron was resolved. When Camron was imprisoned and given a 6-year sentence, Jim believed it was finished. However, just as you start to trust in peace, it has a peculiar way of disintegrating, especially in Harlem. Since the punishment, Jim had been silent. No social media posts, no shows, no statements. Nothing but quiet. The kind of quiet that gives the impression that you're getting better, but Jim wasn't truly at peace. He was making it through. As the globe continued to swirl, he held himself together. The tape continued to loop in his head. The treachery. The shame. Chrissy's aloofness. The courtroom smile of Camron. Like fire on film, it was all etched into his memory. It began like any other morning. Jim sat at his studio in Harlem, where loyalty was more important than blood, where music became a business, and where Dipset tracks first appeared. The illumination was low. Beside his laptop, a half-drunk cup of coffee sat cold. No music was playing, and the air was clear of smoke. There was only stillness, followed by a notification. Jim didn't even look at his phone. However, the headline caused his heart to stop in its tracks. Chrissy Lampkin appeals Camron's 6-year sentence in court. He blinked. Then blinked once more. It was illogical. Chrissy? Making a Camron appeal? The guy who cheated on him? Who was it that ruined their circle? Jim grabbed the TV remote control and switched it on. And there it was. Every news channel has footage playing. With a famous lawyer on her side, Chrissy walked up the courthouse stairs wearing all black and sunglasses that obscured her face. She held her head high. She had an unwavering stride. Reporters yelled. Flashes sprang forth. However, she continued. She remained silent. She entered as if she were a native. As if she were standing up for something she thought was right. Or someone. Chrissy sat next to her attorney in that courtroom. Whispers rang through the room around them. Legal experts. Reporters. Admirers. Everyone is curious as to why. Her attorney took the stand in front of the judge and spoke in a composed yet assertive manner. Procedural misconduct, improper evidence handling, and discrepancies in the investigation that resulted in Mr. Giles' conviction are the grounds upon which we are bringing this appeal. He spread out papers. Timelines for videos. Statements. The courtroom listened. And Camron received a letter from someone far away, behind chilly walls and steel bars. She owned it. No nonsense. Not a single ornament. Only a message. They believe you're finished. They are unfamiliar with me. Camron sat back after folding the paper and slipping it beneath his mattress. He had no hope or excitement on his face. Simply be patient. Like a man anticipating something. When Jim got back to Harlem, his phone blew up. Text messages. Brings. Up. Makes calls. Everyone was curious about his feelings. His thoughts. Was he upset? Was he injured? He was going to answer? Jim didn't do any of that. He switched off the television. He switched his phone off. He also sat still. Keeping everything in mind. The late evenings. The fraternity. The treachery. Chrissy didn't say anything in court. And now, her choice to stand up for the man who broke everything. Later that night, footage of Chrissy leaving the courtroom, silent and self-assured, appeared online. She was surrounded like sharks by reporters. Over the commotion, one yelled, "Do you still think that Camron is real, Chrissy?" She paused, took off her glasses. And she answered, "I believe in justice," with a look that could freeze fire. Then she turned to leave. Within minutes, the video became viral. She was referred to as brave by some. She was labeled a traitor by others. However, she could not be ignored. Jim stood at the window of his apartment across the city, gazing out over the city where he had grown up. Everything seemed to be still to him, even though Harlem was bustling below with automobiles and people. As if time had paused for him alone. He went into his closet. Grabbed an antique safe. Documents inside. Flash drives. Pictures. Items that he never imagined needing. Now, though? It seemed necessary now. Jim and his longtime friend Tone met up in the studio later that evening. "Will you allow her to do this?" Tone inquired. Jim remained silent. He just placed a folder with the name "Insurance" on the table. Inside, the truth. Or his version. Of it, anyway. Meanwhile, the tale went viral in the media. The appeal was discussed by legal experts. It was a long shot, according to some. Others cautioned that it might succeed. However, rumors circulated behind closed doors. Whispers discussed the possibility that there were other people with secrets than Camron. Perhaps Chrissy was shielding him for more reasons than anyone knew. Did it involve guilt? Faithfulness? Or anything more profound? A relationship that never truly ended? Fans took sides online. Chrissy is acting appropriately. She stabbed Jim in the back once more. In the first place, he should never have trusted her. Chrissy, however, remained silent. She didn't share anything. Aside from one picture. An image of a courthouse corridor. Dark. Empty. Reverberating. Round 2, the caption reads. It chilled all of its followers. Camron was summoned to the warden's office while incarcerated. His attorney's voice could be heard over the speaker. We have a date for the hearing. 3 weeks. Prepare yourself. Cam gave a nod. No grin. Just decide. Jim peered in the shadows back in Harlem. Late at night, he drove by the courthouse. Seated. In his vehicle. Turn on your windows. Turn off the engine. Observing. Awaiting. Making a plot. They really think I'm going to let this happen, he said in a whisper. He extracted an ancient USB disk from his glove box. Backfire is written in black ink. He didn't speak again. He didn't have to. Because his eyes spoke for themselves. This was not the end of it. Chrissy also met with a private investigator when everyone else was asleep. Not visible. Not a word. She gave a piece of paper to him. A moniker. I must be informed of everything. Where has he been? What he is concealing. The man gave a nod. She vanished into the night after getting into a dark automobile. Jim, too? In the morning, Jim got a parcel. No address for return. Only one item within. A picture. Camron. Grinning. Behind bars. Soon is the only word inscribed on the back. Jim's hand clenched. Regarded the window. And said in a whisper once again, this isn't over. By no means.